Hello, welcome back to Tottenham Logic. What just happened? I did not see this coming. I went out this morning, came back, Spurs have signed a winger. How the hell did this happen? I checked the news before I went out and there's not even a sign of this happening. So, right, let's get into it. We've just signed Burnley winger Wilson Odobert. He's a tricky left winger, which I'll get into in a minute. And for predominantly plays on the left, he can play as an attacking midfielder and he can also play on the right. So he can play across the front three. We were told Spurs were going to sign Eze. Then we were told we were going to sign Neto. And then we bought someone that was not even mentioned by anybody, not once, through the whole transfer window. And we've bought this guy, 19 years old he is. Don't get me wrong, he looks good, he's skillful. I'll get into what we need in a minute. I'll go through a couple of negatives first because there's some fans out there that are underwhelmed, and I'll explain why they're underwhelmed. But then I'll give you some positives, and then we'll end it on a positive. So the reason why a lot of Spurs fans, including myself in this a little bit, why I'm a little bit underwhelmed by this, is because, like I mentioned earlier, we were promised Neto, then we were promised Eze. I agree with not signing Neto. Let's get that straight. Neto is injured for most of the time, so what's the point of having him? He's injured more than Lo Celso, and we don't want Lo Celso because he's injured too much. So let's cross that off anyway. Okay, Eze, I still want. There's still time to get Eze, but have we spent all our money now? We've now spent almost 130 million on two youngsters, and don't forget Yang that we bought as well, another youngster. We've bought Yang, Bergville, Gray, and now this is another youngster, Odobert, that we've just signed. So there's a lot of youngsters. So why people are feeling a little bit underwhelmed is, are we buying too many youngsters? I remember a lot of Spurs fans last year were laughing at Chelsea for buying all these youngsters and it didn't work because there's too many of them put into one team. I don't agree that we've got too many youngsters in one team because we've got a lot of experience like Madison, Solanke, Romero, Vicario. We've got the experience. Bentancur, Basuma. We've got the experience in the squad, which Chelsea didn't have. But again, are we signing too much youth now? This player, that a lot of Spurs fans can say, yes, I'm really excited by this player. I'm not saying he's not a good player. He looks a very, very good player, very good prospect. But that's the key word, prospect. Again, ifs, buts, and maybes. If he becomes good, if he becomes this superstar that we want him to be, if Bergville becomes this superstar, if Gray becomes this superstar, if Yang becomes this superstar, it's a lot of ifs. And the only reason why I sound a little bit negative, and I'm not going to be, because I promise you I'll get onto the positives, is because Hans Postecoglou keeps coming out to us and he keeps saying, I want to go for the title. I don't want second, I want third. I want to win trophies. All this. Right. Is buying all these youngsters that might be amazing. I'm not saying they won't be. They could be brilliant football players in the future. But are they going to be brilliant football players straight away in their first season, and are we going to go for the title? In my opinion, we're not going to be going for the title unless, again, we do sign an Eze and a strong holding midfielder or a cover left back. Like things we still need to buy. But let's go into the positives. I just wanted to get that off my chest because I wanted people to understand why other fans might be underwhelmed. Because we're promised things and then we're getting things that are not what we promised. He could turn out to be what we are promised, but I'll get into that now. Okay, we were told we wanted a forward-thinking player, a forward player that can play left wing, right wing, and attacking midfielder. He can play all three positions well. Okay, he's got Premier League experience. Another thing we said we needed. We needed a winger that can take on his man. He can take on his man. He done the most take-ons of a teenager, I think, in the Premier League. So he's good at taking on his man. He is rapid as well. I think he clocked like 36.4 kilometers per hour last season, which is literally 1 kilometer slower than Van der Ven. So that just puts that in perspective. Also, he's right-footed. He can play on the right wing, so he will be like a rotational player for Brennan Johnson. You know, when we bring Brennan Johnson on as a rapid winger to tire out defenders, and then we haven't got no one else. Like Kulu is a bit slow and he can't play that. So then let's say Johnson plays 60 minutes, and then Odobert comes on for the last 20 minutes, last half an hour, and he just runs at him as well. That's two players with rapid pace that defender's got to deal with unless they make a sub themselves at left back. This another thing which has really made me happy is now this is telling me we're going to be playing Kulu in the middle and Kulu's not going to be playing on the right, which is good news. Kulu's a lot better in the middle. We've got two rapid wingers on the right-hand side now, just whipping the balls across to Dominic Solanke. We wanted a player that could do this. Dominic Solanke loves players that can run down the wing and whip it into him. So he's got two on the right now. He's got Sonny and Werner on the left. And as much as what you say bad about Werner, he's great at just taking on his man quickly and whipping it in. We've got the two number 9s now, Richarlison and Solanke, who both love getting in the 6-yard box and getting tap-ins or winning headers. Those two love it. So we've now got 4 wingers, 2 on each side, that can bang that ball in the middle, and that plays perfectly to Ange Postecoglou's system. We've not brought in the big name, but again, we've brought in a player that fits the system. And to make you all feel better, nobody's going to spend 25 million or 30 million on a player with Langer, Postecoglou, Scott Munn, Paratici in the background without knowing like this player can make an impact. They're not going to bring someone in like that without doing their research. They've definitely researched this guy, and this is where we've got to stop blaming Levy. Levy's got all these guys saying, we want this player, can you give me the money please? And Levy's going to give them the money for it. So this is a scouting thing. This is obviously the way we're going forward. We're building a team for the future. It doesn't seem like we're building a team for now, but we can't judge them all yet until they've had a season. Like, we can't write them off yet. Archie Gray could still make his way into the first team yet. Bergville could. Young's coming in January. Odobert could take Johnson's place. He could end up being better than Johnson. And how many of you have slagged off Johnson? I like Johnson. I think he's going to be a really good player this season. But I'm saying a lot of you are saying Johnson's not good enough. So we've brought in someone that could take his place. He's got all the attributes of a Postecoglou system. He's quick. He takes on his man. He's high presser. He's got a lot of energy. His fitness levels are very high. He doesn't get injured a lot. Again, another thing that Neto would do. I'm going to back the manager, because at the end of the day, he's telling us he's ticking off these players. These are the players he wants. He's also telling us that these are the players that he's going to go for the title with. So all I am judging this season on is Ange Postecoglou now. You've got the players that you want, mate. This is what you wanted. So let's see what you can do with them. I'm going to be fully behind you. I'm going to back you all the way, and let's see what happens. I'm going to stay positive. Any player you bring in, this is the player you want, so this is what we're going to back you with. Let me know in the comments what you think of this signing. Are you underwhelmed? Are you excited? Do you think we still need to bring in more? I still think we need to bring in like an Eze, another left back, maybe a DM. I still think we need more, but there's still time. Let me know what you think, and come on, you Spurs.